Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Deontay Wilder is back, and he is back with Malik Scott, Freaky Maliki. Anyway, kind of interesting in what's going on here, because first of all, let me do something. I want to show you guys something here, because I personally thought Wilder was going to hang it up. Watch what pops up here. There we go. But Wilder decided not to hang it up. He's going to keep pushing. Normally, I would have an issue with a guy like Wilder. If you look at his last 4 fights, he got, savagely knocked out in 2, one-sided beat down, and 1 by the hands of Parker, and I think a fluke of a win against Helenius, because Wilder just happened to throw the right hand, and Helenius obviously has no chin. I think those Kanaki fights took something out of him, because he just went down like real estate depreciation when Wilder put the Alabama hammer slammer on him. Anyway, he decided to continue, and funny enough, the boxing fans are all over the place on whether Wilder should come back or not. But I'm going to tell you, man, I think Wilder should do what he wants. Now, what makes it interesting is Wilder is returning against, my understanding, someone who was a sparring partner of his. This guy right here, his name is Stephan Shaw. 20 wins, 15 KOs, 2 losses, 1 loss. One of those losses by KO. Now, he has a 75% KO ratio, but I'm going to tell you right now, don't expect him to get in there and start trying to throw and land bombs. He's got long arms like Wilder. He's 6'4". He's shorter than him, but he's more of a shoe shiner. He's more of a coochie cooler. So I think it's good that Wilder and his team, they said, you know what, we're going to come back, but this is how we're going to do it. We're going to make sure that we don't put you in a situation where all of a sudden now you get clipped. And I think this is a good interim fight, a good confidence builder, and the kind of fight I think Devin Haney should be taking. But that being said, when you take a look at Stephan Shaw, and let's just take a look at some of the people he's fought, because a lot of people don't know who he is. So you can see his last fight was in May of 2004. Look at the record of the opponent he fought, Jason Bergman, 27 wins, 21 losses. Then he got Brandon Johnson. He fought him 2 months prior to that, and then in 2023 he fought a Joseph Goodall. But nonetheless, he fought F.A. Jagba in January 2023. Now, when you look at what happened when he got into Jagba, he lost a unanimous decision. And when he did fight Joseph Goodall, who was 9-1 at the time, Joseph Goodall knocked him out in the 6th round. So that being said, when it comes to old Stephan Shaw, the only name he has in his record that we're familiar with is F.A. Jagba. So I think this is a perfect fight for Wilder. Now, I'm going to be paying attention to see if there's some, I should save this for another video, if this is going to be a Deontay Wilder versus Malik Scott moment. What I mean is where you have someone who you know pretty good, you're friends with, and all of a sudden, like the way Malik Scott went down against Deontay Wilder, a lot of people say that the phantom punch hit Malik Scott. And Malik Scott and Wilder had agreed for him to throw the fight. If you watch that fight between Wilder and Malik Scott, go watch it. You'll understand what I'm talking about. That being said, I'm going to be paying attention to see if Stephan Shaw gets hit with a phantom punch and goes down like real estate depreciation. Nonetheless, a lot of people are arguing about it, whether Wilder should return to the ring or not. Huge disagreement took place between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Now, I thought it would be more of them arguing about whether they should fight Wilder or Wilder should come to England and fight one of them. I mean, I didn't know what the argument was going to be about. But then I find out that when you look at Wilder, who's now 39 years old, 43 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw, Tyson Fury is saying he thinks Wilder should just stop. He's like, there's really nothing else left for Wilder to do. It's just time to hang up the gloves. And I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of agree with him. But just being truthful, like Tyson Fury, although I like to see him retire from boxing, I kind of agree with Joshua. It's like, hey, if it's in his heart, he should continue. But I do think, man, when you lose 3 fights to Tyson Fury, well, he lost 2. Wow. Fury feels he won that first fight. But bottom line is there's 2 fights that Wilder, no kidding, he lost to Fury. Now, I'm not going to get into all the bullshit about the cheating and all that. The fact is he lost to him twice. And I'm telling you, those fights took a lot of years off of Fury and Wilder. You know what I'm saying? That war, I mean, when you see the way that fight ended in the 11th round by knockout, that takes a lot out of your tank, and you just don't recover from fights like that. Even when you take a look at Deontay Wilder and Fury, them dudes fought a trilogy, and there were 10 knockdowns, and that really takes a pound of flesh out of a fighter. And both fighters, when they get knocked down like that, it takes something out of you. But when you look at his comeback fights, Joseph Parker and Jane, it's just he's just a shadow of himself. And I just think the glory that Deontay Wilder once had, I think the only glory left in Wilder is his name, not in-ring performances. The glory is with his name. And, I mean, as long as you have a name like Wilder, you can come out here and get some money. But I kind of think he should just retire like Tyson Fury before he really does some serious damage to himself, because I think the warning shot was that Zhilei Zhang fight. Like, you get hit like that, that's dangerous, man. And Wilder's tough. But, man, what Fury did to him, Zhang did to him, it's just not good. But anyway, Wilder coming back on BLK Prime in April. I did a video, a YouTube short earlier. I couldn't remember if they said April or May, but it's supposed to be in April on BLK Prime, and it's supposed to be fighting Stephan Shaw. That's what the rumor is. And they're looking to come out and do an announcement in Los Angeles on Saturday. Now, Anthony Joshua totally disagrees with, me and most people. He just feels, look, I got my own opinion on Wilder, and it's up to him. If you want to do it, it's not a big deal. It's just boxing. If you want to fight, fight on. It's where your heart is. And I kind of agree with what AJ's saying, but also wondering if AJ is saying that because he's like, shit, I still want to fight Wilder. And he feels that Wilder right now is more than vulnerable. Because I'm going to tell you, if Wilder comes back, knocks out this guy Shaw, and AJ gets a good win in his next fight, they're probably going to make, if they don't make Fury and AJ, they're going to make Wilder and AJ. You watch. Because remember, AJ's like, look, I got in there against Jaleel. Jaleel's a good fighter, an Olympian. That's why I fought him. And he's looking at Jaleel being older, but still out here doing what he was doing back then. And looking at how Jaleel's much older now, and he was able to do what he did to Wilder. So although the many years have passed, I think AJ's kind of looking and saying, you got a guy like Zhang, who's a seasoned professional, great pedigree. I beat him years ago, and although he may have slowed just a bit, he still was able to destroy Wilder. And if I beat Zhang, I should be able to beat Wilder. I really hope he's not thinking that way, because that's not how it always works in boxing. But I do think one thing that AJ said about Wilder, look, there's another life outside of boxing for him. And I'm going to be honest with you. Look, the life that was outside of boxing for Wilder, it's gone, people. You know what I'm saying? It's gone. The girlfriend or wife, whatever she was to him, they had a baby together. My understanding is that relationship is over. Now I don't know what the latest is because he doesn't talk about it, but it sounds like that relationship is over. The super hype build up about Wilder fighting and all the excitement around Wilder as an exciting fighter, that's gone, people. The what little credit people gave him for having the big right hand and being able to set up the big right hand, and how they saw him fighting Stephan in that rematch, and he came out talking about he was jabbing like Larry Holmes and all that shit. Now all they say is, look, he has no boxing skill. He's devoid of all skills when it comes to boxing. He's just a guy who had a one-hitter quitter, and now he doesn't have that. So he's a shell of himself. And what I think is crazy is how there was a time where it seemed like everybody cared about Wilder, when he's going to fight. Yeah, they would pinpoint that fundamentally he was flawed, but he had enough fundamentals and enough skill where he could set people up. Now they just sit back and they're watching him and they just act like he never had any talent, which I think is unfair. They just kind of throw him on a long list of nobodies and has-beens, and they kind of referring to him now as the way they refer to the opponents that he faced up until what they considered a real threat, which was Tyson Fury. And we all know what happened in those 3 fights. First fight was competitive. Fury outboxed him, didn't really step to him. Second and third fights, Fury stepped to him and completely dismantled him. But I just think with Deontay Wilder, man, Malik Scott's got to know this. That's why I say freaking Maliki. I don't really like him as Wilder's trainer, but I kind of can finally give him some credit for saying, hey, he knows Wilder's looking less and less like a threat. You know what I'm saying? He knows he's looking less and less like a threat. And I think that's why they've chosen to go with this guy, Stephan Shaw. But, damn, boy, you're just talking about someone coming to a shuddering halt at the hands of, some of these elite fighters, man, who can just outbox you like Parker, just punch you out the frame like Zhang. That's scary because the elite heavyweights, they're either going to outbox you, put on a boxing masterclass, or they're going to bang you out. And if Wilder can't deal with that, he definitely doesn't need to be even thinking about messing with top-tier fighters. But I think he, at 39, can go out here, man, and prepare for fights against tomato cans and make money, especially if there's going to be big-time funding from BLK Prime. And maybe this is the shift, which I think is a quite notable shift, that from the major networks that, Wilder needs. Stay out of Saudi Arabia. Don't go to Saudi Arabia no more. Don't go fight Francis Ngannou, especially in a damn octagon. Just chill out. But we're going to see, because Finkel's supposed to come out and talk, and we'll see what's going to happen. But I just have a feeling when it comes with Wilder, and I think if he was to come back and fight, just stick with boxing. But don't go transitioning into the MMA world. I mean, if that's what you want to do, cool. But I'm just talking about the striking over there with no gloves, the kicking knee and bending you up, choking you out. Just don't do it. Don't do it. But anyway, best of luck to Wilder. Some people are always going to say, if we're being honest and not a Wilder fanboy, he was never a top-level heavyweight champion. He just was a guy that had a solitary asset, which was the big right hand. And with that right hand alone, he turned it into a career. I don't agree with that, because if you look at De La Hoya, he had the left hook. You look at Manny Pacquiao, he had the left hand. Miguel Cotto, he had a left hook. Ike Cortez, he had a jab. So if you look at a lot of these other fighters, they had very sound skill sets, but it's one shot. It's really that one hand they had that would just turn a fight around. So I don't think we should take it to the stupid and just totally crap on Deontay Wilder. I don't think that's fair. At the same time, him come back fighting tomato cans and making millions, I think that's great. But at the same time, it's kind of horrible and sad to see a boxer fall, you know, that low. But hey, he's 40. He's with Malik Scott. I haven't seen any improvement, nothing good about that relationship between him and Scott, except as just them being friends. I think it's very admirable to have a friend like that. But outside of the friendship, when it comes to like boxing, I don't see it. And the other thing that I'm gonna say, Wilder's always punched, above his weight in terms of his boxing talent, just that freakish power he had. But he needs to stop getting in there at 206 pounds, 11 pounds, 18 pounds, 12 pounds, facing these guys who are 270, 280. They bring and especially with skill, they hit as hard as him. They got more weight. So anyway, we'll see if he can pull off a miracle comeback. I don't know, but I'm kind of glad he's doing what he wants to do, and he's smart enough to do it against a guy who he sparred with and is basically going to get in there and just coochie coo him and shoe shine. Y'all keep cool. Wilder's back with Malik Scott. Let's see if they can finally get them a win in the breeze.